This is the Hall of Splendor, built in 1886 as a lounge for dukes, princes, patriarchs, and cabinet ministers when in the summer palace to celebrate Empress Dowager CiXi's birthdays. Vases like this and everything else in these buildings apparently are gifts from those same people.
Third layer. After all the layers done, they take the
'These steps are relatively short, probably 4 or 5 inches. Like one can assume that royalty does not like to make ungainly, difficult steps. There's a perspective I seldom get. These are probably famous people or icons of a certain class of people, but it gives us an idea of how they dressed, how they wore their hair, or not. Just an interesting view. That tower is just too majestic, mounted above these gorgeous roofs, not to keep shooting something all the time. An impressive complex it was. I'm guessing that this once held a ceremonial drum attaching in that little hole at the top. Now, rather than a crane, this may be the phoenix, which is pictured a great deal. And notice it's all covered in wire to keep people from doing what they've done here with this one spot, and that's rub it down to the original brass. And here a dragon. Look at the horns, or whatever those protrusions are. Looks like regular stunted, like deer horns, and then those other smaller, narrower protrusions. Again, this huge tree may be some form of larch. Certainly it exfoliates off its bark on a continuous basis. Here a colorful painting, don't know much about it. That may be a lord or someone with his concubine, but look at the hairstyle on the man. Now this was either first or early dominated by Kangxi and Qinlong, who were Mongol emperors, and this is probably a reflection of their heritage, since I think they came from, well, I'm not sure. I was going to say the steppes, but I don't think they did come from the steppes. I think they came from northeast China. Maybe they're as far away though as Mongolia, which might be the steppes. This is where I think I want to be. Look, 3 little flowers. This was slightly more interesting because the man was able to get together a small collection of at least black stones and somewhat purple ones to add a little more element of design. What a lovely entrance to a building OSHA would never approve, but another pretty tower building of some sort. Pretty lanterns. This old building also houses a restaurant, probably a very nice one, called the Red Lantern, I think. So this is CiXi's yacht. Doesn't move. It's a wood superstructure, apparently painted to look like it's marble. Not sure what the upper superstructure is, but apparently she built this by diverting funds for the Imperial Navy. It's interesting how history makes no mockery of this, just accepts it as another artifact of the dictatorship. It'd be interesting what it looked like when it was apparently all painted. As you can see from it's just below this first floor. Looks like they were thinking about painting it. There are 500 of these small lions, and then there are 4 of these fantastico animals here. It's a little idea of the slope. This is the bronze ox cast in Emperor Qinglong's reign. And the inscription on it was written by Emperor Qinglong as an ode to the ox. Apparently the emperor was fairly literary and prolific, although I suspect that all the intelligentsia were extremely literate for their culture. I have no idea what this temple is or what this building is. Perhaps it has an association with the bridge, who knows? There are many famous bridges in the world, I'm sure. Some iconic, like the one in Venice that goes across whatever the main waterway is through the center part of Venice. Also the one in Poland. Now you may not be able to see this. I'll try to focus up, but yeah, my friend has pointed out that there's a kite here. And what's interesting, it looks like a long series of kites. So let's see if I can telephoto up and you'll be able to see it. Ah, there we go. Now we can see it. Okay, I'll follow it all the way up to the top. Ah, yes. Okay, now we get an up-close and personal view of the kite. And I'm even going to use the telephoto to shoot up along it. Here we go. Hold on. Ah, there we are. This is when you fly kites seriously. Ni hao. And this is his kite. Apparently, Empress CiXi also used to land at the dock in front of this palace. Come in here and make some reverence for rain, etc., and then headed on to the Hall of Happiness and Longevity. It's interesting how we will impliedly revere those who even have been destructive of our own society. That may be a gate between these two water areas, as maybe that one over there is also. These are probably the roofs of administrative or support buildings as opposed to the more religious or formal buildings. You can imagine a Jackie Chan movie running across these roofs.